Welcome to the Fit 360 podcast. In this podcast, you'll hear from the top personal trainers and respected wellness practitioners in the space. They'll be talking about stuff like how moving your body is essential to a robust well-being, how to age with strength and with grace, how to nourish your mind and body through good nutrition versus the latest fad diets, and so much more. If you want to deep dive into a lifestyle of trainers and those who assist in true healthcare, then you're in the right place. This place was created for you to help you improve your future well-being.
Yeah, no cards.
Just in case. Today we're back again. I have a really good friend of mine. We go way back, worked together over the years, and just became cool friends. And I'll tell you, she's one of my favorite people that's in this business in the world. Very smart lady, very calm and just chill. I'm happy to have her today on the podcast so we can dig into her brain a little bit, you know what I mean, have some fun in this conversation and just talk. And hopefully me and you can learn some stuff, fill in the gaps of stuff that we never thought of before, and just be able to use it in our lives. Now, since that what we do is it's a lifestyle thing, so hopefully you can use it the same way as well. So today I want to introduce a good friend of mine, personal trainer, PhD. Okay, PhD.
Yes.
Okay, and this is Chantrell Parker.
Thank you for having me.
Good.
Excited and proud of you and everything that you've put your hands on.
Thank you, lady. Thank you.
Thoroughly
from you, that's
excited
big.
And happy for you. Yes.
And same thing to you.
Thank you.
Happy for you as well, because we were, working in a certain place.
Yes.
And we branched out and opened
Did
our own thing.
Things, yes.
So, yes.
Yes, we did. Not too far apart from each other.
Not too far from each other, exactly.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank
and
you.
I know you're gonna do amazing stuff.
Thank you.
I mean, I've seen your work, lady.
Thank you. I appreciate
your
that.
work, and I approve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So listen. Let's get into this conversation.
Okay. Let's go.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, who's Chantrell?
Ho. Who is Chantrell?
And I say a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, let's see. I'm going to start with what shaped me into this world of fitness.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
This is how Chantrell got started. So I'm going to go back a little bit. My sister and I were 12 years apart. She's 12 years older. And when I was growing up, she was good in every freaking thing. You name it.
Wow.
She was good in it. Basketball, volleyball, softball, cheerleading. So it got to where I asked my mom, well, what did my sister suck at? She sucked playing an instrument. So I started playing the clarinet.
Oh, no. What? The clarinet.
The clarinet, and so I was in the orchestra band, I was in the marching band, you name it, I can play the clarinet.
Wow.
And the other thing that my sister sucked at was track and field. So from the time I was in middle school, that was the first time I ran track, and from there it was just like life-changing. That's when I was actually seen as being Chantrell and no longer being seen as Little Veda. So for a long time, they didn't even say my name. I was Little Veda. So from middle school, learned how to do hurdles, and I'm gonna put that in quotation marks, all right? Because you're just learning, just running, jumping. And it wasn't until I got to high school, went out for the track team that very first day, and I walked up to the coach and told him I can do hurdles. And he said, "There's no way, you too little." So now, mind you, I did not break 100 pounds into my sophomore year in college. So we talking about high school. You can only imagine how tiny I was.
Yes.
And so he lined up the hurdles, and I ran. And Fast forward, I had a full scholarship for track and field in college.
For real?
Full scholarship, yes. I did 100, 400 hurdles. I did long jump, triple jump. Did the 4x1 and 4x4. I did 6 events every week. I was a top scorer every week. I held my own.
The athlete was born.
An athlete was born.
So where was this? Where?
So I went to college at Southeastern Louisiana University. It's in Hammond, Louisiana. So did my collegiate track and field there, and then I also got an opportunity to coach there because I
Really?
worked on my master's, and so to be an assistant coach, they actually paid for me. A graduate assistant coach paid for my master's, so I got my undergrad and my master's paid for through Southeastern, through track and field.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love how you kind of like find a weak spot from what you know from your sister, what she couldn't do, and you took that
Yes.
and make it into something.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna have my own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some people would have just like, okay, just give up. I can't do anything. I suck at everything. But you found
I found
that
where I fit in.
Exactly.
I found what I can do, and that has been my platform throughout life.
You created that channel.
Even in this arena of being a personal trainer, which
Right.
is a male
Dominated.
industry.
Yes.
I was told, first of all, because of this.
Really?
Yeah. When I first got started in personal training or exposed to personal training, I saw no one that looked like me.
Female.
I saw no black female personal trainers within New Orleans, Louisiana area.
Okay.
None, right? Then on a bigger picture of seeing, okay, let me just go through a little bit on the website, and you see California, where it's like the next big thing.
Right.
I really didn't see where I fit in because I
Right.
had no boobs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I had no
'Cause
boobs.
That was
That was the thing.
Yeah.
I had no boobs.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "You sure that's what you want to do?" I was like, "Yeah."
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna find my way.
I'm gonna find my way. I've been able to find out how I can be good at something in everything that I've done thus far. So I'm sure I can make this work.
I want to fix your mic a little bit
Okay, go ahead.
because I want to make sure, man, we capture all of this good juice.
There we go.
You know.
And
Yeah.
so, got it? Okay, good. So yeah, I wanted to find out just where I fit in, and I knew I can fit in. I believe that I can make my dream of being a personal trainer work, because all I wanted to do was just help people, be with people. That's it. So it had to work. There was no other option. It had to work.
You know, I got to tell you that in itself is the main course of that meal. Is the fact that you want to help people, and that will give you everything else you need to get there. Because that's how my career started too.
Okay.
I didn't want it. I didn't know it even existed.
Wow.
But people approached me for that help. They wanted that help. And I have an innate personality where I really enjoy helping people. So somehow, you know, I don't know if they picked that up or whatever the case may be, or it could be just superficial.
Yeah.
But when you're pulled into something, everything will line up for you. Even I always believe that your journey, even as a child, always leads you to the path that you need to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I didn't notice, what you just said, I didn't notice the fact that there weren't any black female.
It's just that
Like,
at the
I
time
just-
when I was getting involved,
Right.
I didn't see me.
Yeah, but you're right. Now that you said it,
Okay.
I'm looking and I say, wait, you're right. I didn't see it either. But I never like make notice of it. You know what I mean? I'm flabbergasted a little bit. Like, why not? Why do you think that was though? Is it? I don't know. I've never
don't know.
really put any thought into it. I mean, until you just mentioned it, I never thought about it.
I don't know.
But wow, interesting. But so you broke that mold.
I mean,
you
there
broke into that.
Yeah, I broke into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once I came to
One more
Atlanta,
thing, one more crack you found.
Yeah, once I came into Atlanta, and then I started to see actual black female trainers that were doing well. I was like, okay, we do have a place. I just had to come to a place to see me
see
in
you.
action.
Okay.
That's it.
Well,
I was gonna
you
still
didn't see,
do it.
You didn't see it in other places, but you
I
saw
didn't see it in New Orleans. I didn't really
Atlanta.
see it on a big marketing scale when I looked into like California and New York.
Right.
I didn't see it from that perspective. Yes, I saw a lot of black females into fitness, but not as a personal trainer. And it wasn't until I came to Atlanta in 2003, being a trainer, where I slowly got exposed to black female trainers. And so my very first gym, I worked at Gold's Gym in Sandy Springs. I was the only black female trainer
That's
there.
Fountain Oak.
Huh? No, this was the one on Roswell Road.
At Fountain Oak Plaza.
No.
Not where Jimmy Bucket used to be?
No, Sandy Springs. Not
Was
where
it Goals?
There was a Goals in the back corner. So it's like, what is
Past
it?
Hammond going up.
Past Hammond, still going up
Oh
before
yeah,
you get to Abernathy
I heard about
on like that
yes,
right-hand
yeah,
side.
I heard about that. So you went all the way up there.
I went all the way up there.
Okay.
That was my first job.
And you were the only black
I was
female.
the only black female trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's good to be the only black female trainer in that, because then you become a commodity, I think. Because everybody like, yo, I don't want her. I don't know. I want this new.
I don't know. But for me, it was still a lack of me trying to find more of me. Not to say that that's why I was doing it, but you just kind of want to see that you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my case, I mean, there was a lot of us, like you said, it's male dominated, and it was also black male dominated, because we kind of started the game.
Yeah.
Then I didn't see a lot of white male personal trainers either.
Really?
No.
Really?
No. All we got, trust me, was, I mean, 30 years ago, coming into the business, first of all, trainers at that time wasn't even, like, I didn't see any. The gyms didn't have trainers.
Okay.
Right? This is why people approached me to train them, because the gyms didn't have them. And so I was one of the person who started that. And then I started then it started to like become an uprise, because somehow we had the better bodies, you know, black male.
Yes.
And so it was like, yeah, well, shit, I want to look like him. So,
of course.
you know, we had the better muscle. So we
Without
became,
the spray tan.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a lot of male black trainers just started coming to the business, and it's not until I think I went and worked for Equinox in New York, then I started seeing a few white guys, and it's the start to grow after that. Then move into Atlanta. I saw back to mostly black male trainers. And then now I see to start to blossom into
It's
female,
very diverse.
Yeah,
it's everything.
It's very diverse.
It's very diverse now. And I've loved seeing the growth of diversity over the 20 years that I've been here.
Yeah, pretty interesting. It's just so amazing how you can go through life and never even pay attention to some of the things that you in your journey. That's why I always say, man, you gotta focus on the way to the finish line, to your destiny.
Right.
You gotta enjoy the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing about memory, you can always come back, and once something is triggered, you can come back and find something in it. It's like, oh, I never thought about that. So in this case. Well, here, I'm glad that you broke into the business, because you are, and I'm not bullshitting, one of the best trainer I know, male or female, or black or white.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And I watch the careness that you put into your clients who are older.
Yes.
And the patience that you put into it. And I absolutely admire that in you. And even if your face is not smiling, your whole being is smiling.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And I mean, you just always have that positive feeling around you. And it's necessary to have that. It's necessary to have that, because it just works better in this business, what we do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
If you want to have longevity, if you want to have
100%.
Continuous client, because you know how those referrals, how they are.
That, you know what? Speaking of referrals, that's all my business been.
Referrals is the bomb.
I bought a domain name, but still hadn't developed my website. Like, when I tell you, just grateful for the referrals. I still have day one clients from when I got to Atlanta 20 years ago.
I know. What better than you get your phone rings and someone says, "Oh, I got your number from so and so."
Yes, yeah.
And you never had to spend a dime.
Nothing.
Make a phone call, talk to anybody, give out a business card to get that business, right?
Yeah.
That is the sweetest, and you come highly recommended already. You don't have to really prove much.
Right.
I mean, you still got to prove to the truth.
Absolutely.
But not much.
Then,
not like you have to go to this verbal, conversation and trying to blow yourself up and all of this stuff.
You don't have to audition for the part.
You don't have to audition for the part. It's there. Yes, it's there. It came. It's like, yeah, that's the best thing. And I've seen some trainers in action, and it sick me to my stomach. Like, really, the way they are, they're just rough with the client, and clients stick around for that shit. And I'm like, and as I'm speaking, I can think about 3 people faces popped up in my head who that was, but I'm not gonna call any names because I don't want to.
This is not the place for that.
It's not the place for that.
Nope.
But it's incredible. I've seen a client cry because this guy fired her over some silly stuff because she didn't pay him. She went on vacation, and so she figured, okay, she's going on vacation, she'll pay him when she get back. She didn't pay him before she leaves. And he fired her and wouldn't take her back. Her husband came to talk to him. I'm like, but wait a minute. Aren't there other trainers that you can go to? Like, it's not that serious.
Wow.
I understand that you've been with him for years and you know him and all that stuff, but
there's more.
Take a chance on someone else. And to me, he was okay. He was okay. But he was just a really hard shell type of dude. Really hard shell. And I've seen some crazy stuff. I'm like, nah. And then there are some who just really don't know what the hell they're doing. But you're going to find that in any profession.
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, so on and so on. So it's okay. We have our lot too. Yeah. And this is why we have to do the audition thing sometimes and allow people to kind of see us, but see how we work and kind of win them over. It's worth it at times because once someone get to know that about you, that how good you are, it's really downhill from there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They're with you.
Right.
Once they're with you, they're with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's constant
they are with you.
paycheck.
Yeah.
They're with you for life, as long as they can afford it. So the other question I want to ask you: how long you been from? You said you started being into the personal training business to now. How long is that?
20 years.
Nice.
20 years.
Nice.
You
barely look like you're 20.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, really, 20 years. I had like 10 in my head.
No.
Yeah, 10 years.
20 years.
That's amazing. That's good.
Years. And
good,
what pushed me to be a trainer was when I was in grad school. I was working with one of my professors. So, I was doing track and field. Right. So giving them like a running program, things of that nature, helping them run because they wanted to do a half marathon. I'll never forget this. So I was working with them doing that. And from just doing that, he said, Chantrelle, you ought to take the test to be a personal trainer. There's nothing you need to study for because my background, when I was getting my master's, was exercise physiology. You know all this stuff. Just take the test.
Just take the test.
So I signed up. I took the test. I passed it. All right, so here we go. I'm a certified personal trainer. I can already write running programs. I can already, do X, Y, and Z. Now it's just how do I find my way within personal training?
Into the business.
How do I want to branch off and sell myself? So I knew I wanted to come to Atlanta. I fell in love with Atlanta when we would have track meets and we would drive to Georgia Tech. So when I graduated in 2003, I went online, found a little job. That's how I got with Gold's Gym. Okay. Got a U-Haul truck one way and never looked back.
Wow.
Never looked back. That's how I got to Gold's Gym. And so initially I was doing like little running programs and stuff like that. And then my first client that actually stuck with me and helped me to change the direction in what I wanted to do as far as weight training wise was an older adult. I was a little bit timid in training her because I'd never worked with an older adult. Everything been from collegiate athletes or just, people that didn't have any major limitations per se. So when I was working with this particular individual, I said, I'm going to train her the way I would want someone to work with my mother. And that has been how I've molded my career.
Okay.
And I think that's how I truly found my niche with working with older adults. And as you said before, that's really all I work with.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, from there, I've kind of specialized with working with older adults that have had strokes. I've had some that are paraplegics, you name it, double hip replacement, double knee surgery. Just my basis for setting up their program is how would I want somebody to work with my mother to still progress them along, but still be caring and understanding of whatever limitation that they probably had. But then not letting them use their limitation as an excuse, first and foremost. And that's how I've been able just to shape my career. And that's how I chose my business name as Stay Mobile. No matter
Okay.
what, we're going to stay mobile.
Stay mobile.
We're going to keep this thing moving.
Right.
You going to
Right.
move, and I'm going to help you move.
Right. Is this why you chose to go back to school and get your PhD?
Yes.
Because you wanted to be able to handle clients like that?
Well, yes and no. I'm going to say no because initially it was the recession in 2009. Mama got to have a backup plan,
Gotcha.
right?
Mhm,
Because personal training is from disposable income.
Right.
So when people don't have that extra money, what's the first thing that they're probably going to cut?
They'll let us
Is
go.
training. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I needed
Yeah.
a backup plan.
Mhm.
And the best way for me to do that was to go ahead and get my PhD. If it ever slowed down, then I could still teach in the field of which I love first and foremost.
Nice. Yeah.
So did a little teaching on the side. Every now and then I'm still, on that collegiate area because you're always learning from newer generations.
Right.
Just something, right?
And
There's always
you're
gonna be
doing something you love.
Still doing something I love.
That you enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just been a blessing to where even the highs and lows of the economy, I haven't lost my clientele.
Because these people have good disposable income. Which is why I do the same. My main market is older people.
Yeah.
And until I come up with a better word, that's what I got. I hate the sound of it.
Yeah.
But older clients
You're
are
more matured
the
individuals.
yeah.
You're more financially secure
exactly
individuals. To where, when they're working with their financial advisor, this is factored in as a part of their lifestyle.
Right.
So it's going to be there.
And those people, so that's what we get from them. But what they get from us is someone who's experienced and with PhDs.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows how to handle clients like that? Who can challenge them enough without breaking their backs, breaking their knees,
Right.
and put them way out of breath. But challenge them and know that if they're having aches and pains or issues, they can call you and say, "This is going on with me. What should I do?"
Right. Yeah.
And I get a lot of those phone calls. I tell them, do not go to the doctor or call the doctor until you talk to me first.
Yeah.
And, it takes a lot of trust for them to be able to do that.
First and foremost, it's trust. It's trust.
And then, you can say, okay, well, give me what's happening, if it's over the phone or whatever. And you can kind of tell them, which I've done many times, okay, this is what you need to do. It's nothing serious, blah, blah, blah. And they trust you enough to do what you tell them to do. And they feel better for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this training older, mature adults is not for newcomers.
Everybody.
No, not for newcomers.
Or as people always tell me, I had an old soul at a young age. So maybe I was already old to begin with and just didn't know it.
Right. Right.
So
that's
how I got with the more mature crowd.
So you said, going back to what you said, you were at goals, and so where did you transition from a goal? How long you stayed at goals? Give me the breakdown.
So I'll give you the breakdown, and I'll even throw out a name. So when I was with goals, that corporate fitness, I was actually miserable because it's their training style or the way that, how can I word this politely? I felt like, all right, here it is. The corporate style was all about the money and not the person.
Yes.
So.
And they still are.
Okay. Yes, they still are. I don't know. I don't work with them anymore, but I'm sure they are. But for me, I'm about the people. I would rather have a little less, knowing that I have in good conscience and good faith have gone above and beyond for the person and not just boom, a swipe of the credit card.
Right.
I'm never gonna view a person as a number. I'm just not gonna do it. So that never sat right with me. And so even though I was at Gold's Gym and I was a part of their corporate fitness, they had a few independent trainers that also worked there.
Okay.
And so one of them is Roy Carr. He was the first person that I met. And so he said, Chantrelle, I'm gonna help you become independent. And that is exactly what he did. So he went and he found a small studio for me of someone that you and I both know. I don't want to say that name just because, I don't want to put that out there. But I'm thankful
at the other location.
At his smaller location.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful that I was able to get a start there.
Right.
All right. And really build from there. So once I left Gold's Gym, those clients came with me over there, followed me, and that's how I became an independent trainer.
Nice.
And then so I was from Gold's Gym a little bit at this studio. I was at Gym of Buckhead, and so that's how I met some other people. So like John White, I met him. I'm sure he didn't know me by name. I was a little bitty thing then when I first started.
Yeah.
And some other people. And who else was like Hansel Little, he's been a great supporter too with me starting off.
He's done the same for me.
Yeah,
I have to say Hansel he's guided me in the Atlanta market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway,
and so Gold's Gym at this studio. Now, mind you, I'm always at this studio, but I left Gold's Gym. I was at the studio doing the Gym of Buckhead. I was at the studio and I did Bodyplex. I was at the studio, and then I was doing what hospital was it?
Hospital?
Yeah, DeKalb Medical Center.
Really?
Yeah.
They had a
physiology department.
Okay.
Because when you're first getting started, right, you got to put in the work.
Got to put in work.
And as a trainer, you only get paid when you work.
Exactly.
So I knew the lifestyle that I wanted to have. I just had to hustle to do it. And I spent all of my time hustling. And so with the DeKalb Medical Center, that's what really helped my training with like my cardiac patients and things of that nature, stroke patients, things of that nature. So that's what gave me a different realm to how to train people with some type of limitation.
Gotcha.
Per se.
Yeah.
That's where I was truly exposed to that market on how to train from that perspective, that more science perspective.
Based, right.
If you say. So once I was building at the studio, then I was able to back away from all those other areas. Bodyplex closed down. You were familiar with that? Yeah. I went there one day and the doors was just locked. Chain. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then Gym of Buckhead, wasn't really feeling that anymore. And then I was building up my clientele at the studio so much to where I didn't have the need to really go down to the medical center. And before I knew it, I was just all day long at the studio.
So go back a little bit. Bodyplex, when that closed on, that was a big opportunity though.
That was a huge opportunity.
Because people wanted to... big opportunity. So it sounds like it's a bad, oh my God, the door's closed, what are we going to do?
No.
But it's like, ooh, as a trainer, it's like...
And then, it was like, I see how you worked with such and such
and such. And so I want you to work...
Not realizing that I was always on display.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't know that was the younger, naive me.
Right.
I just always went in, like I said, I'm going to treat this person like how I would want somebody to treat my mom. Not realizing other people were watching.
Oh man,
all the time.
People watch you all the time. I mean, people watch us trainers in general.
Yeah.
Even other trainers, clients.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing to do. Yeah, you're always on display.
Yeah, but when I was in it, because like I said, I just knew the lifestyle that I wanted to have. So all of my attention, I would go in the doors, boom, train.
You are super focused. you come in, do your thing, and you're out.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna speak to everybody.
Yeah.
But
hey, how you doing? But I'm out.
Yeah.
And so, and you have other things to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I
so
get it.
that was the first time I found out that I was on constant watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, I don't have nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Because
this is part of the business.
This is a part of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you racked up quite a few clients from that door.
Yes, and that's why I was able to get everything in one area.
Yes. I love
get
it.
everything into one area and just, from there, build myself, build my techniques, build my, I don't want to say signature, but my little signature brand of training.
Yeah, because that's where the experience comes in. You can have all the knowledge in the world. If you don't have your hands on,
because the book is only going to teach you this much.
So much, yes.
And people are going to teach you this much. And 9 times out of 10, what you learn from people, you're not going to find in the book.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find it in the book.
So I always say, in terms of the book, it is the personal trainers that cause the information to be in the book in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trends.
Yeah. If we didn't do the things we do, no one would be able to put that in the book. Yeah. So there were times when I went to get recertified, and this happened about 2 times. The last 2 times I went recertified, and I damn near unintentionally took over the class from the instructor. And I had to catch myself. I said, what are you doing? And I'm like, people, because what happened was they would ask the instructor a question and she couldn't answer. She's kind of refer it, like, I'll look into that. And
back into the book.
And I knew the answer. So I said, oh, it's this or this. And everybody was like, oh. And so they started asking me more questions. They pull out their notepad and their pen. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel good.
Right.
For me to do that, you know what I mean? And so I stopped it, but then after the class, people would caught up to me and asking me questions and so on and so forth.
I get that. I've been there before too.
Yeah. So then I was like, wait a minute, do I need to go through this recertification, pay all this money for something because I really wasn't learning much. I was learning new equipment because they would bring out people who design new equipment, would come out and showcase their stuff and then create a class around it.
Around that, yeah.
But in terms of the literature about exercise physiology,
so a lot of the instructors, what I find personally, they're not necessarily working in the field.
Oh, okay. So why are they here?
They have the degree, but they're not necessarily working in the field. And when you're in the field, things change.
Right. Definitely.
That's why I said you learn this much from people, you're going to learn this much from the book. You get a baseline. This is the general. Like, what your blood pressure should be. This is general. Is that 100%? No.
Right.
You're just going to give you a nice little general number. This is the range you should be in.
Because when they test someone, they do maybe 100 people. And whatever the majority come out to be, they test them like 3 times to make sure.
Yeah.
And whatever the number come out to be, that's what they go with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outliers, we throw them out. Real world is going to have more outliers than you have ever seen.
Yes.
In the book, when you're doing research, right? This little outlier, we'll throw that one out. This outlier, we'll throw it out.
Right.
Research is designed. What is it we're trying to study? How can we conform the research to go in the direction that we want it to?
Ooh,
and let's do that.
In the direction that they want
it to.
Which is feasible for them in terms of
When you're
financial.
reading a lot of research, find out who is sponsoring it. All right?
Yes.
And that's key. Who is backing the money for this particular research? All right. So, if it's
the sponsors that's really setting
the guidelines, the hypotheses for what you're going to say.
So interesting. So this is something I know definitely, but I want to throw it out there. So your companies are the people who are donating millions of dollars to colleges, right? Medical schools and people who want to become doctors. So they set the guideline of how they want those doctors to operate so they can at the back end make all this money, which is why now you go to doctors and you say, well, this and this hurts, I'm going through this, and they say, okay, here, write a prescription and give it to you. Doctors only get like I think 4 to 6 hours of nutrition course class throughout the 4 years that they're in medical school or whatever, which doesn't make sense to me. And people who know this still wake up, call the doctor, go to the doctor, and putting all this trust into doctors.
Well, this is why you gotta find a doctor that specializes in nutrition. That's why everything's broken down into specialized categories.
Yes.
Right.
And I tell people, say, listen, drugs are designed off of the same chemical breakdown of what food does to the body. The body breaks down the food into the same chemicals that it needs. They mimic drugs. They use drug to mimic that.
Yeah.
And most people do not know this.
Right.
I'm like, how do you not know this?
What's the first one? Let food be thy medicine.
Yes.
Let food be thy medicine. And a lot of the medicines are derivatives of a certain food. Just has a synthetic makeup to it.
Exactly. Which is why all this, it's just stronger. And so this is why all these side effects are popping up, because the body only takes what it needs.
What it needs.
The drug gives you this big dose of whatever it is. And at some point it worked because it needed to work quickly. Because no one wanted to take a drug that was going to take 30 days to fix them. Right? They want to get fixed now. And I get it, because you're in pain. Food and something natural in the process, natural herbs and all this stuff, take way longer, and people do not want to wait the length of time to make that happen. And that's why most people shy away from natural medicine, because it doesn't work as quickly. But it is the best way to go.
It is the best way to go.
It's the
not
body can handle it.
All medicines, because some people do
need it.
But if you are healthy, have a little patience. Take the longer route.
Absolutely. I totally 100% agree.
Just like fitness.
Yes.
Have the patience.
There's no magic pill.
Not the fad diet. Right? Not the fad exercise. Well, we got to do this because I saw, this celebrity was doing this celebrity was doing that, and they got in shape for 3 days. Well, this particular celebrity has a chef, has a trainer, has somebody watching their kids.
And they can train 2-3 times a day.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's so what, your life is truly not on that same level as what they're doing. You got to work all day. You got to take care of your kids all day. They
can pay for trainers to train them twice a day.
Right.
They have Pilates instructors. They go their whole day doing all this stuff. They have massage therapists who can straighten them out when they're in aches and pains, and the chef and all of this stuff.
Everything's right there.
Everything is right there. Normal people don't have that shit. So people just get real. I mean, stop looking at other people trying to
want it quick. Want it quick.
You know what I mean? Looking at other people trying to be like them. Be yourself. Stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Stay in your lane. So careful of that. I want to go back a little bit. Did your sister ever got into sports or scholarships or anything? No.
Nothing.
Why not?
That wasn't her thing. She was just naturally good at something.
So,
but then that was it.
So she never followed you after that. She just went her own way, do her own thing.
Yeah. Like I said,
do you have other siblings besides your?
It's just she and I. She's 12 years older. She works out with me every day via Zoom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every day via Zoom.
Oh, so you train her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day via Zoom. But as far as the whole fitness route that I took, or did she just truly excel to take fitness outside of high school? She did no sport outside of high school.
So the reason why I ask is that my siblings, I have 2 brothers, got into fitness because of me.
Okay.
And then I have 1 son, 1 out of my 3 sons, 1 got into fitness. I mean, not being a personal trainer or anything like that. My brother, he does some personal training with his friends, and he's the leader. He's, and his wife and all that. Even when the COVID was going on, he create exercise programs, and they would do the shit through Zoom or and he would be leading them and all that stuff. Sometimes my other 2 sons, they didn't get into it, but sometimes it's nice to know that you have siblings who kind of follow that, or your own kids. You know what I mean? Because you're doing something that is so amazing, and people are paying you for it, and all the stuff that goes with it. It's like, why not? My mom got into
wow.
it. Yeah, she joined classes and all that stuff. So she goes, and then they have. She lives in Co-op City, New York.
Okay.
And Co-op City is like a city in itself, and they have everything there, and lots of programs, because it's kind of also, even though a lot of young people live in there, it's also great for older adults.
Oh, good.
And they have different programs for older adults, classes and all those things. So my mom, she retires, never exercised before
Really?
that. She retires, and she started doing that stuff. My mom loved to walk. That's her little thing.
Now, my mom's always been active. My entire life, she's always been active, still active to this day, goes walking and stuff like that. Like I said, I think my advancement in sport was out of sheer determination to have my own name. My sister was just naturally good in sports, and when high school was done, that's it.
Yeah, she was good.
That's it.
What?
She wasn't looking
She's working
to do
out
it.
now. Okay. Yeah, she's I gotta so like just like every morning, couple
Every
times
morning,
a week.
Monday through Friday, from 7 to 7:45.
So she was the one you were doing when I saw you doing the Zoom and the stuff.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought it was a
I had
regular
clients
client.
too, but
Yeah, but there was one. I can't remember her face. I guess if I see, there was one, and it's always this. When I saw you that early in the morning, like about 6 o'clock.
Yep.
It was always the same person.
That's her.
And it was like every morning.
Every morning.
Well, that's great, man. And so you say your mom is also still active?
Yes.
You didn't have any brothers?
I have a brother through my dad, but he and I we're not as close.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. But from my mom, it's just my sister and I.
Okay. So I want to settle a debate. I get a lot of this question from clients over the years, and I want to know what your answer is. Is there an exercise that's better than the other, in your opinion?
I personally do not believe that there's an exercise better than the other, because each person is different. Each person's body is going to respond differently. You can give 100 people the same exercise, and you're going to get different outcomes from it. So you have to find the exercise, or I find the exercise that works with that person's natural body movement.
Right.
A lot of people, they're just, whether they're kyphotic, you're not going to have them do a bunch of push-ups. They're already overdeveloped in that area.
Right.
It depends upon the person.
That's good. And there's another part of it, from my perspective, is that you can have an exercise that I think it's more, I don't want to use better, but it works you more than the other one.
Yeah.
Well, if you do that exercise all the time, at some point it doesn't benefit you maximum anymore.
Your body's going to adapt to it.
Really quickly. So now the exercise that you've neglected to do is going to be better in that moment, because you haven't done that too often.
Yeah.
So it's going to give you that much more benefit.
Yeah.
So then there's that. An exercise I'm thinking about at the top of my head right now is a squat compared to a leg press. A squat is going to always be more difficult than a leg press, because you're using so much more, and you're vertically being pushed down by the weight, and you got to put it back up. So it feels heavier, where a leg press is the lower half from the waist down.
Yeah.
And so you have to it also takes more weight. You can push more weight on a leg press versus a squat. And so your heart has to work a little bit much harder to do a squat.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you squat all the time, after a while,
then you just got to change up your squat.
Change it up.
If you're doing back squats, switch it to a front squat.
Right. Exactly.
You just got to tweak it just a little bit.
Keep switching it up.
Yeah.
Even a rotation.
Or even how you load the squat. Have weight a little heavier on one side than you do on the other side.
Can change it.
Yeah.
Change it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's I guess you could say there's exercises better than some.
But then again, it's going to determine
based
the
on
person.
the question, it's going to determine the person.
It's going to determine the person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love that there's no flat answer.
There's just
I love it.
Yeah.
I love because it's so final when there's a flat answer. Which kind of go back to what you say about being tested and and determine what's with doctors and so on. That it all depends on the individual. There's somebody out there that have a situation that doesn't go with the norm.
Right. Exactly.
And you have to
that
treat
outlier.
them. Yes.
That
right.
outlier.
You have to treat that person.
You can't throw them away.
You
You have to figure out how to get this outlier right.
Right.
For them.
Yes.
Right for them. Not right for you.
Not
right for them.
Absolutely.
So if it's somebody and their feet constantly go out, how can we work on their ankles to get their feet to come in?
People's hunched over in their back, which
right.
I get a lot of that, by the way, especially in older adults. You constantly have to do things to
get them upright, to protract their shoulders.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do have a 16-year-old, by the way. Who's that?
And you're going to get a lot more just because of technology now.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The phone,
Yeah.
the way there's just no one is like.
It's these postural deviations. They are literally changing the shape of their spine.
Body. Yeah.
They're gonna have arthritic knuckles within their thumbs.
I get that too. No, I have to be in between sessions. I have to be working on clients. Their thumb. It's amazing.
Yeah. This is habitual. It's
Our
habitual.
job is never done.
No.
It's always
habitual.
changing.
Yeah.
There's always something different popping up. But yeah,
the more we have stationary jobs, the more habitual postural deviations in a negative way that we're going to have to combat against.
Good stuff. Good stuff. This question: how important is rest in the human body?
Very important. Your body heals when it's at rest. It heals when it's at rest.
So, do you find that there's more people who are not getting really good quality rest?
Correct. Stressed to the highest degree that you can think of. Coffee on top of coffee on top of coffee
all day long.
of coffee all day long. Can we get some water? Just a little bit of water first to hydrate you before you dehydrate yourself. Can't sleep because I got to get this done. Got to get this stuff all together before I go to work. It's always something. And even when they are asleep, their brain doesn't shut off. Because it's
so
always
there's no quality sleep. And people have TV in their bedrooms, which is also part of the problem because they can't go to sleep anymore. They have the TV
They're
on.
watching television right
fall
before they go to
asleep
bed.
For a little bit with the TV on. That light that's hitting the pupil is a problem.
Yeah. I have no electronics in my bedroom. No television.
No electric. Yeah. And another thing is that if they do have a window, they don't have the proper curtain to block out
the light.
And you have to sleep in total darkness. So your body has to make your body do make chemicals when you're in a certain state of sleep that you do need to supply you for that day. Chemicals are only made for 24 hours.
Right. That's it.
After that, your body have to remake more to take it through the day. And so many people are missing that. So if you're not sleeping from night to night to night to night, and you're not getting quality sleep, and your body's not making certain chemicals, then it causes other chemical reaction in your body because your body's going to try to survive every time. And this is how people have all kinds of medical issues. So I read something the other day that says the body is not designed to be sick. It's designed to always function. It's us that makes our body sick.
I can wholeheartedly see that.
Yeah, through our decisions and what we do, and we put so many things above our own health. And I see mothers do this all the time, where they'll pay all the attention to a child and give themselves nothing.
Right. And without realizing that if you don't take care of you, then how can you take care of your
somebody
child?
else? Yeah.
You just can't do it. You can't do it. But then on the other hand, it's how do we get them to realize that they need to slow down? Because for kids, it's always the rat race of, if I don't get my child in this school, they don't make this grade, they don't do this, then how they're going to advance to that next level.
Right.
You know? Yeah, the constant rat race.
And then, if you have a parent who's doing some shitty thing in their life, the kids also learn that becomes customary for them.
Little kids drinking coffee now.
Yes, I saw that shit.
Kids in Starbucks. Like, little kids are doing coffee to do their homework.
And I'm not saying coffee's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad.
However, the way we're consuming it is bad.
Right.
Again, that's our decision.
This size compared
constantly
to just
throughout the day.
Yeah.
And no food. So one of the big questions between Fonda and I, we were asking is like, when people say they eat healthy, do they really eat healthy? And I'm talking about the quality of how the food is prepared. Colors stay in the food because people overcook their food. Not because you're having a vegetable on a plate doesn't mean it's you actually, say you have one vegetable on the plate. It doesn't mean that because it says it's a vegetable doesn't mean it's a healthy vegetable in the terms of you could have cooked the damn nutrients out of it.
Right.
Because the first and foremost thing that you're paying attention to is the taste. You know what I mean?
Are they over-seasoning?
Over-season the food,
Yeah.
they put all kinds of stuff. Right. I find that, take meat for instance, that are naturally raised and taken good care of, I find that they're tasty. You don't have to put a whole lot of flavor on them, added flavor on them. And they cook easy. They digest easy in your system because it's so natural.
It's natural. Yeah, it's natural.
But people are not realizing that that's what healthy food is. They think is cutting carbs out your diet and take away all these nutrients, drinking 1% milk and 2% milk instead of drinking old milk or no milk at all.
Right.
It's from an animal. That if you're certain adults of a certain age and all those things, you don't really need to drink milk. But they use the same milk to make butter, which is the fermentation of milk, which now kind of make it a little bit better than using vegetable oil, because vegetable oil is crap anyway. And then people say, we don't eat fried food because fried food is unhealthy, but it's not the frying of the food that's unhealthy, it's the oil that you cook it in.
Yeah.
So people are not making those connections,
right.
And so they're confused as hell. And when I talk to them about it, they like looking to me like deer in the headlights. Like I'm speaking like I'm from outer space or some shit.
It takes more effort. It takes more effort to eat healthy, to pay attention to the labels, to make some sacrifices as far as price wise, because you're going to get into that price wise, and have patience. Once again, coming back to patience. You have to have patience. You need to plan out your menu. What are you going to have?
And it's not like you only have one meal a day.
Right.
You have to do it multiple times a day.
You have to do it multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And so, I get this all the time. Chantrelle, how can you're eating that again? Or how many times a day are you eating a certain thing? Well, when I cook on Sunday, I'm probably going to have it for Sunday dinner. I'm going to have it for breakfast because I don't have to have what we view as a traditional breakfast.
Right.
So whatever vegetables and protein that I had the night before, I heat that up for breakfast the next day and keep it moving.
Doesn't have to be eggs and bread and bacon and all that stuff. Yeah.
And all bread's not the enemy.
Breakfast.
It's when you're getting the bread that's made with sugars and all this other unnatural things that are in there, sweeteners and stuff like that, then that's where the problem comes in. But carbs itself is not the enemy. You need carbs for fuel. You have to have it for fuel.
Yes, it is. It's your source. It's the source of life.
Yeah, you have to have it for fuel.
Source of life.
Them little veggie puffs.
Right.
Is a quick snack to give to some kids.
So that was going to be my next question about how
fresh bell pepper or
you
something
eat.
like that.
So you touched on a little bit of that about what you have to do to prepare for your food throughout the week and all that stuff. And
like my snacks, I love the color of the rainbow.
How do you, as a trainer, how do you eat?
So one of my favorite snacks, I make me a huge thing of hummus. I make different type of hummus, whether it's like sweet potato hummus. That's what I'm doing today.
Sweet potato hummus?
Yeah.
What you mean? I thought hummus is only made with chickpeas.
Yeah, chickpea. I have some sweet potatoes that are in the oven
you-
as we speak right
so you
now,
mix
and
it
I mix it
with the chickpeas?
with the chickpeas,
Okay.
with the olive oil.
I make my own hummus too. I actually
Okay.
have some right there.
Yeah.
And I was
And
eating
then
before you came.
I cut up yellow, orange, red, green bell peppers, and I eat it fresh with my hummus.
Nice.
That's my favorite snack because it's easy in between clients.
So wait, if you do you watch TV much?
I don't.
No.
I don't.
Oh.
Well, mainly because I'm not home.
Okay.
Now, when I'm doing my hair or something like that, I put it on Netflix.
Right.
I watch a little bit of the news, but not a lot late because it's just so heavy on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I don't watch the news at all, but I do have shows that I watch. TV programs that I would sit down and watch that, and I snack a lot. And I noticed that I said, wait a minute, if I'm doing this, then how much snacking people are doing? They're watching the game or whatever, but what people are snacking on, wings and popcorn and chips and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, how much of that is healthy stuff? Now, I'm not just saying those things are unhealthy. What I find that is that for me, I try not to buy chicken when I go out in public. Because the restaurants are not going to buy quality.
Because they got to make a profit.
Right.
They got to make a profit.
So I'm very
At the end of the
leery
day, they
about
got to make a profit.
Right. And then if I do decide it, I said to myself, okay, it's not something I do very often. My body can get rid of that, no problem. So if I go to a place where, and the wings have to be at a certain size. They can't be bigger than a certain size. I'm not having it. If I order it and they come out with it and it's by a certain size, I'll pay for it, but I'm not eating it.
Wow. Yeah.
And I've done that. And they say, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I would not touch it. And then the other part of it is that, so they buy these things in the jar that they dip and stuff like that. That's something you can make.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned hummus. I like to dip in my hummus and pesto. Make fresh pesto at home. It's not hard. And I'm not saying everybody know how to do this, but you can learn.
YouTube University.
Exactly.
Come on.
You can learn.
YouTube
and,
University.
Get your chickpeas on and make your snacks and get your bell pepper where they sell all the colors, the green, the yellow, and the orange, and the the green, yellow, and orange, right? Is that another color?
Red.
And red.
And red.
And do that. And there's just a little bit, there's so many other things that you can do to have healthy snacks. And so you can, prevent from doing these other unhealthy stuff. Grapes. I'll snack on fruits.
Yeah. Snack on fruits.
Another thing is that I hear people say, oh, don't eat so much fruit because there's a lot of sugar in it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
So this is what I
have never
tell
seen
clients.
anybody got fat off of eating fruit.
This is what I tell my clients all the time. So if you go somewhere and you don't have access to a store, but you got all these fruit trees, you mean to tell me you not gonna pick and eat any of them fruits?
I would gorge myself. Are you kidding? I would, man.
This is nature at the core. Right
exactly.
Here,
and
right?
the thing is that if you look at it from the bottom, those trees are not being rooted up and replanted for the next season. Those trees, once they're growing and bear fruit, they stay that way.
Yeah.
That ground is nutrients rich into the tree, into the fruit, going into your body. And so what if it has sugar in it? The body,
it has fiber in it too.
That's fiber,
and that kind of like cancels it out a little.
But
bit,
the body needs sugar.
Yeah.
They make it sound like sugar is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's the processed
Just
sugar
the
that's
processed
bad
sugar,
because
which is
protein
the bad
turns into sugar, fat turns into sugar, carbohydrates,
Turn
vegetables,
into-
everything because it's the energy source of the body. The body processes it into sugar and feed into the muscle so the muscle can move. I'm not saying it's just sugar. There's other nutrients
there's
as well.
other nutrients in
but
it that
everything
you need.
turns into sugar.
So have the fruit with the seeds in it instead of taking Metamucil.
And the skin, a lot of times the skin of the fruit is also great because there's fiber.
It's the fiber.
And
It's
you
the
need
fiber that
fiber.
you need.
Absolutely.
Instead my doctor just said get some Metamucil stuff. Like you want to drink this every day instead of eating this peach.
Right.
Hell, you in Georgia with some juicy peaches.
You know what I mean?
It's more than an emoji for the booty. It's more than that. It's more than that. is.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. That is funny.
It's so
More
much
than
more.
emoji for the booty.
It is.
Oh man. Oh man. But yes.
So much more.
Yeah, food is, it's very misunderstood. And so when people call them, oh, I'm a foodie, I'm very suspect because I look at, and I'm not saying that, okay, I know everything about food. By no means. I'm not the authority on food, but I know a lot about food. And that I contribute to being born in Jamaica, raised there, and being able to cook the food from there and know what natural food is, and never saw anyone with cancer.
Right.
And all
Arthritis.
Arthritis. My grandmother lived to 90-something years old, didn't have any issues walking around, barely went to the doctor for anything. Have natural remedies. We make our own cooking oil out of coconut.
Yeah.
My great grandmother would do that. Butter was natural. Everything was natural.
Yeah.
I sit in the tree and season fruits. You're supposed to eat fruit seasonally, because having certain fruits all year round is not good. It's like, what are you doing to have that all year round? So we have to respect nature and say, okay, you know what? I'm only gonna have this fruit at this time of year when it's in abundance, when it's in season. And I'm not gonna have it when it's not in season, because I don't want to consume it. Because other fruits will come to bear in the seasons that this other fruit is not. You know what I mean? There's millions of fruits out there that you can consume. And I understand in the Americas where we are, there's not a lot of fruit trees.
Because they're using all the land for soy.
Yes, and the government don't want people to have fruit trees as well.
Yeah.
Because if you have X amount of fruit trees, they think you're gonna sell it. And it's all about taking money away from a certain source.
Right.
And that's how everything is controlled. It's always about the money first.
Always.
Which are ruining people's health. And other things. We need to, as people, find our way through that. We need to educate ourselves. We need to take it seriously, because it is even better than exercise.
Oh, absolutely.
It is the most important thing.
The most important for the vitality of your life. The most important. Yeah.
Quality food.
Quality food. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So listen, man, I can talk to you forever. I mean, I feel like we haven't even touched on some stuff yet.
We can do it again.
Oh,
we can do it again, and I will bring a peach.
Oh yes, bring that peach, and I'll bring a doodle emoji. Let you know that they go together. So we're gonna close out. Okay. And is there anything else you want to share with folks?
No, this has just been great. I mean, if I can give or say anything, it's be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself, be true to yourself, and don't be so caught up in the societal, what we're making norms of what has to be. Like, it's okay to be a little different for you to find your path within life. So if you need to step back and slow down in order to prepare your own food, in order to prepare your own drinks, in order to prepare your mind for what you're going to do the next day, take the time and do that. If I can say or offer anything, just slow down, be patient with yourself. You know, fitness is a journey, the healthy eating is a journey, but once you find your way within that journey, it's a beautiful journey. The food is delicious, the movement is phenomenal, and together your body is just going to thank you wholeheartedly.
I second that emotion. Now I want to add to that as well. It's important to show gratitude for the people who prepared the food to get to your table, from the farmers, the truckers, people who wash it, but box it up to get to the grocery store. The grocery people who own the grocery stores. Give it to gratitude to yourself for going to the store to pick that vegetable or fruit or meat or whatever, to buy it, be with it, bring it home, prepare it, not in a rush, but take your time with it, season it, be in the kitchen, be with it, make sure the kids are there watching you doing that
make
stuff.
It an event.
Make
that the game. Get the kids involved.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the table with my grandmother doing everything. Man, we'll have to get into this another time because I told you I'm a country bumpkin, right?
I know, yeah.
I remember running, putting the chicken in the corner to help my grandmother catch it and wring its neck. Like I'm that country.
Yes,
I'm that country.
Yes. Man, yes. I can tell you growing up stories, man, when it comes to food and all that. My grandma used to buy.
I have a good relationship with food because of her.
Yes. And so I have a really healthy relationship with food. For one, I love the taste of it. It doesn't have to be sweet because I don't, when I go to restaurants, don't give me a dessert menu. I cannot stand it. It pisses me off because I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything sweet like that stuff. I don't find it to be food. And it irritates me when people say, "Oh my God, yes, I want to have that."
They
it looks
start
good. Salivating over that.
Yeah.
Why would I want to put that in my body?
Yeah.
And they're not salivating over really beautiful, healthy, good food. But they're salivating over the sugar, the sweet stuff. And I find that Americans especially, they will put sugar on everything. And thinking that's what tastes good.
They put it on extra over fruit, over watermelon.
And I'm like, your taste bud is so crazy and messed up that you think sugar is the main and should be the main ingredient. When I was growing up, my mom, my grandmother used to say, "Oh, eat this; it's healthy for you." I don't care how it tastes. I am going in. I used to enjoy some of the worst tasting food growing up, and I loved it as a kid because I'm thinking it's
good for you.
It's good for me.
Yeah.
That's all they had to say. It was good for you. So I had that mindset from.
Either eat or starve.
Oh no, I had choices.
No, I'm talking about with my mom.
Oh, what your mom?
Yes.
Oh, but we had choices because we can.
That's it.
We had tons of choices because fruit trees were everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to go raid people's fruit trees and come home and cook ackee. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So we were, and I knew how to cook at an early age because our parents was out working, and we come home and my parents didn't do like grocery shopping for days and days. They would shop every day for dinner. So you go in the fridge is empty. Yeah. You have to figure out, how am I going to eat before they get home? Like, you're hungry, you can't wait for them to get home. So we had to make do. But anyway, I mean, this is another conversation we can get into.
Absolutely.
This when it comes to health, there's so much spectrum around it and so many things that are needed to make it whole.
Emotional,
it's not just
spiritual.
It's
so many compartments.
It's not just moving the body. It's sleep. It's all of these things. But this is the work that we have to do to make. And I'm not saying you're gonna be so. Health is about stopping yourself from dying. We're all gonna die. But why not seek quality life?
Yeah, while you're living.
While you're living. As long as you live, you should be able to want to do stuff because that's the purpose. If you're just in the body and you're not moving, you can't do anything, then what's the purpose? Yeah. It's the moving and doing things and being active is the best part of living.
It surely is.
Yeah.
It surely is.
So I want to do that as long as I can. I'm not worried about dying.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen. But
some people say, "Well, shit, why do that anyway? You're still gonna die anyway."
No, I want to be moving up until the day.
Yes.
Up until the day.
Till I decide
I pray
that
I
I'm
die
gonna go
peacefully in my sleep. That is my prayer.
Exactly.
But the day before, your girl was up and moving, doing her thing.
You know what I'm saying?
That is my prayer for how I want to go.
Very important. On that note, people, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for allowing us to share with you and to pour into you. On that note, Take care.
Bye.
My girl. All right.